Hey you guys, okay, this video is going to be so comprehensive. If you've ever had a question about injectables, I get DMs on the daily of people saying, how much did you get? What shape? What do you ask for? This, that, and the other. And I'm going to explain why, for one, that's not what you want to do. Two, I want to go through and just have this be a video all in one place where I talk about Botox, filler, not just to say, oh, I've done this, I've done that, because you guys know I've always been so transparent. That's what we're doing here. I'm sharing the love, and I'm sharing, don't do this, maybe do it like this. But I also just want it to be a place that is very just comprehensive, where I can just say, go to this video. Like I did with my breast augmentation, I have a video that I feel is just one of those that just hits right. When you look back at it, I'm like, I said everything that I wanted to say. I did it in the way that's very me, which is honest, but not glorifying this or using it for views. Let me take you with me and show you these, these implants that I'm getting, or this latest this or that are then going to be recalled in a year. So many, we'll get into that. I waited like 5 years till I did my breast implant video. I was honest and I told you guys right when I did it, but I never wanted to like glorify it, because who knows what would have happened. It's just something that I think you have to be so careful about. And I always want to come at you guys from a place of just obviously being real, sharing with you guys the information so that you can get the best result and make the best decision if you do want to do these things. Also answering questions and talking about these things from honestly a positive place, because some of the things, because obviously I wouldn't do these things if I didn't think, one, it was good for me, but that I liked it and that it's helpful. I would never suggest anything that I thought may not be helpful to somebody. Now, it's becoming mainstream. We know this. There are so many misconceptions with that. It's just like if you look at an artist, right? Oh, but art looks like this. Well, it depends on who the artist is, okay? Cooking, right? Everyone can cook scrambled eggs. Well, you may burn this batch and then someone may make them like the best ever. Am I making sense here? Here's what. Botox isn't a one-size-fits-all thing. Okay, it depends on who you go to. Cool sculpting, the same, okay? It depends on who does it, and you can get terrible results, or you can get amazing results. I'm gonna talk about my cool sculpting experience. Lip filler, facial filler, anything like that, Botox, the truth, things that you need to know. Not only just being transparent and breaking down every single thing from, again, not to be honest, saying this is what I had, this is what I did, this is what I did. It's for me to give you a frame of reference. Like, I did this and here's what happened, and I've gone back and I've adjusted it this way. Or when you go, maybe, ask for this or that. Things that you don't need to spend money on, that are a massive waste of money, that I see people spending on these cosmetic procedures, and you're just throwing money down the drain. I'll get to things like that, and things that you can do at home instead. I'm definitely not going to reiterate everything I said about my breast augmentation. I will link to that. At this point, my gosh, when was that? That's almost been, I think, 7 years now. But I will say everything I would say in this video, I said in that video. There's absolutely nothing I would like to add. I will touch on that a little bit here as it relates to other things, but I will link to that below. And hopefully, if you're someone that's watching this and you're judgy, or you have those misconceptions, I'm not trying to prove you wrong, but I'm confident that if you watch this, you're gonna walk away from this and feel differently. Not that I'm trying to convince you to do anything, because I'm the opposite. I try to convince people not to do things, but to educate you, hopefully, but also to definitely spread the word that, and here I am doing this, that YouTube is not necessarily the place where you need to be going to get information about cosmetic procedures. There's so much information out there that all I'm doing is sharing my personal experience in a cautionary way, so that then you can do the right thing to make the best decisions, which is to go to a doctor and to not listen to the girl on the other side of the country or a couple states away, that you'll never go to their particular doctor and be influenced to do something that they did. Or, you know, the girl that's going to get like, I'm going to walk you through every single step of my breast augmentation because she's getting them at a massive discount or for free, in real time, showing you how amazing it is. And then years later, getting an explant because those are not the kind of implants that I'm not going to name like specific things, but you know, because of, you can look up and find what's recalled and what's not, what's dangerous and what's not. The type that I have are still what they're using on a lot of people. When I got them done, my doctor was like, you know, this is what I like to use. If they leak, they go hard and you'll know. And the results and the, you know, the breast implant illness, whatever the rate is, that's a whole thing you can look into. No matter what you put, and I'm going to get that out of the way, no matter what you put in your body, whether it's a hip replacement, whether it's any sort of like, say you got a chin implant or anything with, you know, an organ that you had to get, like any sort of medical device, breast implants are no different. Any sort of implant's no different, and your body can reject it. It can cause inflammation, which then people call that breast implant illness. I know people that have had that. All the people that I know, and I already said this in the video, but I know I'm gonna get questions about that. Is this in the breast implant video? We dive deep into this. Everyone that I know had, it's about the casing. Your body kind of, you know, starts rejecting that. And I'm not saying, because I don't want anybody watching this that has this type to be like, oh no, because I know a lot of people that are fine with it. The saline ones, a lot of times, I do find that people that have had those that do end up with like some sort of, you know, breast implant illness or whatever, well then they get the silicone ones and it might not be the same. Or people that, you know, got an explant thinking this is what's wrong, and then, you know, years later they find out, well, maybe that's not what it was. People that definitely have breast implant illness from silicone, saline, you name it, from a hip replacement, from a this, whatever, it's just called something different. It's a real thing. It's a risk. There's nothing you can do to avoid it. You never know how your body's going to react to anything. I know someone that can't do Botox, that can't do filler. It's just one of those things. Do you know what I mean? But it doesn't mean that everything is going to be dangerous. It doesn't mean that everyone's going to have that. I definitely, that's a big reason why I didn't come on here and glorify it right away and glamorize, oh, you need to, who knows? I could have, you know, had something terrible happen, or, you know, okay. To get that out of the way. I want to take you through like somewhat coherently, right, and get so deep and take you through all of this. Before we get started, this romper that we talked about recently, I don't want to move this chair, but here it is. Okay, it's on sale currently. I love this so much. I believe right now it's 20% off. Things do sell out fairly quickly. You know, you find with this site, I mean, sometimes they'll restock things, but I would definitely grab this. I'm wearing a medium. It is sort of like ruched, or not like sheared in the back, so it is a bit stretchier, which is great. I probably could have worn a small, but I'm glad I got a medium, and it comes in a bunch of different colors too. And if you didn't grab this, you guys, just, oh my gosh, this is kind of what I put with this. It is a little cropped linen blazer. They also have this in different colors, but they also have it in like more of a typical, like, you know, like a thicker, smoother, like blazer fabric, in different colors too if you don't want the linen, but I like the linen for this time of year. Okay, so let's get into it, you guys. Any sort of cosmetic procedure is something you need to be educated about. It's something that you should not ever ask anyone. Same as I mentioned in the breast implant video. If you look at me and you say, oh, I get DMs all the time. How many units do you get in your lips? What shape do you ask for? How many cc's are your breasts? Like, which we break all that down. I have, I think, what's mine, a 420? I went from a nothing with a 420 implant to literally like, I didn't have like small average boobs. I had nothing, okay? It's all implant. I got a mammogram. Last time I got a mammogram, they always, you know, they have to just, they gather up your actual breast tissue. And I was kind of joking with the woman, and she was like, yeah, this is the smallest amount of breast tissue like I've actually seen. So I'm just saying, like, you know, something that I waited until I think I was like 32, 33 to do. I didn't do it because I felt less than, or to prove something, or, oh, I don't want to get lips because I feel like I need to look a certain way. It was something I did for me, you know? And I think that's a good mindset to go in with it with. Don't look at someone, oh, they look great, I'm gonna get those too. Or, oh, I'd be more confident. Or, oh, I'd get a, you know, I'd be more confident around guys, or I do this or that. It's not a fix for that. And that's really kind of a dangerous mindset to go into it with. But back to asking about specifics, a 420 implant on me that took me from like a couldn't even fill out an A to literally like a D or 36D is not, if you come in and you think, oh, I have tiny boobs, you're probably like, say you're even a full A or a B, you might be a J, okay? Like you cannot, it depends on your starting point. Same with lips. People say, how many syringes do you get and what shape do you ask for? It doesn't matter unless if you are my carbon copy twin and what you're starting with. That's not a thing. You don't go into a place and say, I want this many units or this many syringes and I want this type of lip. Or the best thing to do is to show who you trust, your doctor, your injector, a photo, and say, this is kind of the look I want. Same with breasts, you know, and then they can look at your frame, your face. If you're going somewhere good, someone that's board certified, we've talked about all this, make sure they have privilege at a hospital. That's the big thing. Make sure that you're going to someone good. That person will be able to know exactly what you need. If you ever have to go and tell someone the amount of units, the shape, or I want this breast size and this, why are you even going to it? Like, you're not the doctor. Like, that's their job to like give you the result you want. You shouldn't be asking for specific amounts because you are not a doctor and you don't know. Botox units, I get such a minimal amount that like if someone else got them, you probably wouldn't even be able to tell. I like a lot of movement. We'll get to that. But I think we really need to talk about, let's focus on the face first, then we'll talk about all the injectables, we'll talk about cool sculpting. I will link to the breast implant video because everything, I mean, I could say it's in that video and it's a good one, okay? And I think it's really important. With the face, so many misconceptions about Botox and filler. Let me say that there's been so many times here, you know, I opened up about, not opened up, I mean, pretty much like, I think I waited about a month after because I thought and this was like, I started getting it maybe 6 years ago. I didn't tell you guys the first month because I thought, am I gonna look insane on camera? Like I was afraid. And I was the person that was very skeptical and for years always saying, I will never get my lips done. I had small lips, it was fine. I always had confidence, got married, had boyfriends, was on here, I never ever cared about that, okay? But it is something that I always thought, dang, it would be nice to have, you know, a little more something to work with. My lips were very tiny up top. Fine, it's not about having bigger or small lips. For me, it was more so about balancing my face. And it's kind of like, I don't want to say this because you're going to be like, oh my gosh, but the Kylie Jenner effect, like, you look at her, and I'm not sure, she like mainstreamed lips, okay? I'm not talking about like, that's what it, like, oh, that's what the ideal is. I'm saying, look at her face shape. And she's a tinier face than me, but we have the same kind of prominent chin. Her before pictures, I feel kind of were similar to mine, not that we look the same, but our face shapes. Small lips, set back, beautiful, great, nothing wrong with it. But for me, I feel like my profile is more balanced. It's not about like saying, oh, I always have to have big lips. It's more so about, it gave me a more balanced face. I've let mine go down a lot. I haven't had them done in a long time. And for me, it's not even about like, I would let them go down even more and half this, whatever, just like let them go down over the years. But I will always have just a little bit because it does balance my profile. There were times when I thought, well, isn't my chin, like maybe I've got like too big or my nose, but I've never been self-conscious about my nose or my chin. It was more so about like just the way your whole face, people love to get a pronounced chin now. Like sometimes someone might have really huge lips, but their face shape might be, you know, they might say, well, you know, maybe that would be more balanced looking. Now, I'm not saying that's how anyone should look. I'm saying lips can change your face. And when you get lips or when you say, oh, I want bigger breasts or whatever, it's not because it's like, oh, I need big boobs or I need big lips. For me, my boobs you know, when I was talking to my plastic surgeon about my boobs, he was like, well, you know, because I was very afraid. I went in there thinking, I want it to be minimal. I just want basic, just some kind of boobies. I don't need big boobies. I just want something proportionate to me, maybe like a 200cc. I made the mistake. And he looked at me and he's like, okay, well, let me tell you, that's not gonna look right. It's not gonna look right. And he was right. You know, so you have to go to someone that knows what they're doing. And he's like, you know, you do have like a larger frame. And he's right. You know, I've always kind of known that. But here's what. It's not about your weight, or it's about your stature, and anyone that knows is going to be able to look at that and know. Same with someone that's a good injector, knowing what to do with your face. Starting small is the key. To this day, I don't even know how many syringes. I've heard people say like, oh, you know, when I got my lips done the first time, I got like multiple syringes. And I'm like, oh my gosh. I remember the first time I got mine done, she started very small. Don't go to someone that's just desperate to sell syringes of filler that they upsell you on too much. You do have to pay for the syringe no matter how much they use of it, but she probably used just a fraction of it, and you couldn't really tell the first time I got them done, but I liked it because it did kind of begin to balance them out. And that was what I was saying with the Botox and the filler. I didn't say anything right away, and nobody noticed. And I thought, perfect, okay. Like, I don't look crazy or anything like that. And there's been time, Botox wears off after 3 months, okay? It's gone. So there's times when, like, you know, I might have told you guys, like, yeah, I got Botox, whatever. 6 months later, you know, there's times when I think I've gone 6 months or a year without it, you know, in this time. But someone will say, you need to lay off the Botox, like, you're looking crazy. And I'm thinking, it's funny because I don't have any. It's just people get it in their minds and then they start trying to, like, honestly weaponize it, or because they have their own misconceptions. I've been there. Like I said, I really was very judgy and opinionated about it. Judgy in a way of not that someone was doing it, but in that, like, I ain't doing that, because I had seen someone years and years ago that I knew had started with lips similar to mine, my original, like, natural lips. And theirs were very flat. Like, I didn't have a vertical lip shape. Like, they did, you know, it was just pointed down. You couldn't really see the pretty shape of my lips. And when I get them done, I was like, you have a really pretty lip shape. And I love that that enhances what I have. And it's something you can always remove. It's not like a lip implant. It's nothing like that. It goes away. Filler does last a long time. You can get it removed and stuff. But just to say that, Botox does go away. But I saw this person and their lips were very just out and duck. And I thought, I can't do that. I don't have a lip shape for lip filler. I will look like a duck. And that was my stance for a long, long time. Then I decided, you know, for preventative, I want to start doing a little bit of Botox. That was like my first foray into that. Not because I had deep forehead wrinkles, but because I am expressive, but I would have very like just crepiness. Not like a one deep line, but just the whole forehead would look very crepey. Nothing wrong with that, you guys. But if you're someone that's using moisturizer, if you're using any sort of cosmetic product that's honestly making you look better or making you feel better, it's the same mindset. I wanted to do, now it's more serious because there's a danger and a risk involved. So that's where, you know, your smarts and your like research has to come in, okay? And why hopefully these kind of videos help. But I knew like that was something that I wanted to start doing. And when I first went, you know, I began talking to Missy, who does my injections. Erica from Aesthetic Specialty Center also has done mine before. She did my Botox last time. And I love both of them. Missy's the only one that's ever done my filler and my lips. I love her so much, but she's the one that really educated me about it. And I'll put their info below if you're in the Atlanta area. But I know most of you guys watching aren't. You can find great injectors everywhere. Look at their social media, look at their patients, look at what they're about, their credentials. Go talk to them and get a good vibe and be vocal. Say, if you're not trying to do the most, you gotta tell them that, you know? And I was very conservative going in there saying, I'm terrified. Like, I don't wanna look like this. I don't wanna look like that. I don't, you know. And then talking about lips and stuff, when she first did my lips, when we talked about it, she was like, no, yeah, we can, you know, of course that's fine. Here's what, she knows how to do them. So my my result is night and day different from someone else that may have similar lips to mine, because we go to different injectors, and it's about like the skill, right? And you know, like I said, it's like an art. Same with like, you know, Botox isn't Botox. It's about who injects it. You can inject Botox into the wrong nerve, it's such an art on how you do it. Like, you know, if you want to lift the brows, you have to put it here. You have to put it, it's just such a balancing thing. And I think that is where the person makes a difference. And so when I first got my lips done, I liked it, and I, you know, gradually eased up to where I felt comfortable. And there's been times when I look back and I'm like, maybe those were a little much. But I really, really do love it. I love the way they make my face look more balanced, and I'm really happy with that. And I know it's something that, you know, you could always dissolve, and it's been a good experience for me. And then also, yeah, for the lips, there's never been anything negative. I love them. It's one of the best things I feel that I've done, and it really changes your face. When I look back at photos before, and people always say like, you've done so much to your face, I'm like, it's literally the only thing that makes me truly look different. One, I don't have my fake blonde, like bleached hair anymore. This is my natural color. Not that that's good or bad. That makes you look different. But as far as my face, I've done this for 15 years. If you look back at a video when I was 23, I'm gonna look a lot different than I am now, you know, a couple years from 40. A year and a half, let's be honest. Do you see what I'm saying? So I think that's kind of a weird ideology. In between there, I've gained and lost 80 pounds roughly, up and down, having a baby. You guys, your face changes. And in that time, I was probably like 115 pounds, skinny mini, sunken. Like, I look back at my face, being skinny isn't always better. I feel like I look so much better and more youthful now than I did when I was 23. My skin's plumper. I just feel better about myself. Not because of how I look, or, you know, oh, the Botox did this or the lips did that. It's about how I feel. Like, you know, if you go years without getting your hair done and that's something important to you, well, yeah, you might feel a little different. Like, hey, I feel a little more on point when my hair is done. Or with makeup, that's something that might make you feel good doing. That's what I'm saying. I feel better. I feel like I've taken better care of myself. And that's that. Okay, so lips truly change your face. Now with the Botox, I probably got mine about 2 months ago. I'm always able to have like tons of movement. I know I'm looking crazy right now. I don't get a lot. I get it up here, and I get a little here, which is a game changer for your crow's feet. It can lessen your crow's feet by, I believe they said, about 80%. If I ever start feeling like I'm looking real crinkly here, which nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying we shouldn't look like we have wrinkles or that we're getting older. But as I said, I do look older than I did when I was 23, but I feel like I look better. It's not about not having a line on your face. It's not about that. It's about taking care of your skin. And when I get the Botox, I still have that movement, okay? I'm not trying to look like an airbrushed, like nothing person, but my skin texture is better. The Botox keeps your skin texture nice. For me, it's never about like, I don't want to move, or I'm trying to erase this line. And I do have a friend, she gets a real deep line, and when she gets Botox, it relaxes and goes away because your skin isn't moving and creating the line all the time. It takes about a week or two for that line to relax and disappear because you're not moving in that same way, but she can still move and do everything. Same with me, like, you know, the expression on my face. I don't lose any expression, but your skin isn't moving in a way where it's crinkling or always like, my brows always have a tendency to like hold up like that. And the Botox for me relaxes. I always say I don't want to look pulled up because it's terrifying. And I don't want to be drooping. You can hit the wrong thing with Botox and your eye is going to be full on closed for about 5 months. It's terrifying. And that's why you need to go to someone that knows what they're doing. Also, someone could inject you the wrong way and you could have Spock villain brows. My brows are very aggressive. This is them at their most relaxed, okay? Like, this is me like making a, they can't even, like, even if I push them down, like, they just don't get much lower, okay? This is the most relaxed I'm gonna look, and I'm okay with that. It's fine. But, okay, so that's basically Botox. People get it in their neck for their neck bands. I don't know. I don't like even touching my neck. Even when I get a fake, I couldn't imagine ever getting it in my neck. I don't know, that scares the crap out of me. But you do what you gotta do. People get it in their jaws and their this area for clenching, for headaches. It's a really good thing. I know my dentist office does it for people that grind, and it's something that I think people have been very judgy about for a long time, but maybe those people are starting to come around because they're realizing what it actually is and what it can do. But I think in the early days, and even still now, you see bad Botox, or you see someone that has like one of those cat face, I hate to say that, but you know what I'm saying. That's not a Botox face. That is not Botox, okay? Now let's move on to filler. Filler. Let's get into filler. Now, I really like to separate, okay, the lip filler, sure, you can have real bad lip filler or whatever, but then there's facial filler, okay? And technically lip filler is a part of that, but we already discussed that. Let's go into facial filler. To go back to lips though, it is painful. Before you do it, just get them to put some numbing stuff on it for a little bit, and it is better, but it's not pleasant. It's not a pleasant experience, but I think it's worth it, and it's something that I really, really like. And I do feel just getting it made I feel like it makes me look more like me. I feel like I look more youthful. I look more back at photos. I look back at photos of me and I'm like, wow, you look like a different person. One, because I was pretending like my eyebrows didn't exist, which I'll never fully understand. God bless that they came back. But with filler, you know, it's just different. Okay, so let's talk about facial filler. Okay, we already talked about the lips. I'm saying going in and saying, oh, give me a pick me up, and then you start getting filler here, filler there, everywhere. Now listen, someone could do that conservatively and maybe like, okay, it's gonna be rare. Okay, there's great places to go, people I would trust to do that, but that's not something I would say to just go in if you're just ready to spend some money willy-nilly. I would say address specific things, okay? For me, the only other place I've ever had filler on my face, and this was maybe 3 years ago, I feel it and I don't feel, you always feel when it was there. I don't feel it there anymore. Maybe it's dissipated, maybe it's smoothed. I know filler can last several years. If you get big globs of it, it can track and travel, and you gotta be careful with that, okay? Putting filler all over your face, it's just, might not be the vibe, okay? If you're like, hey, I might want some cheekbones, that may not be, maybe if you've got a real like asymmetrical situation going on and you're like, yeah, put a little over here. But if you're just like, I think I need to pick me up, give me some cheekbones, that may not be for the best, you know what I mean? Or I've seen people trying to like ward off a facelift, so they get a bunch of filler in their jaw. Now, some people might benefit, they might feel that they would feel better. And again, nothing's wrong with how anyone looks, okay? But again, we wear makeup, we dye our hair. The mentality is the same, the severity is different. That's what I'm trying to say here. So don't judge, okay? And I'm not judging, but with the fill, whether you want to do it because you think it makes you look better, whether you need it, whether you're not, it's fine, okay? Do whatever you want to do. But I'm just saying, for the best result, maybe that might not be, maybe like doing all of the facial filler, I would say would be the last thing I would do. I'd say maybe start with a little bit of your lips. I have a friend that has beautiful lips, like surface, very large surface area. They have a lot of like lines, and she lost volume as she got older, okay? So she got a touch of lip filler. I look at her because I've known her our whole lives. I can't tell, but I'm thinking, you look good. You look like you. And I think that's what the key is, okay? Someone like me that had like really small lips, really small boobs, yeah, you get these things because like maybe it's gonna make you feel more proportionate or you like the result better, which I do. I've never had any regrets about either of those things. But when it comes to just like, I want my face just to look better, like fill me up, you know what I mean? That's not always the case. So maybe, I guess I was like maybe 34, 35. I noticed that like, especially on camera and in real life when I was doing my makeup, I would notice I was just piling on concealer right here in my tear trough because it was so hollow. No eye bags, but just major like hollowing. And it wasn't just like a bad night or a bad month or a bad year. It was like, that's just kind of what my eyes naturally were doing. You know, I noticed like in my 20s, it wasn't as bad. And of course, we're not gonna look the same as we were in our 20s, but that was volume that used to be there, kind of like my friend's lips or whatever, that then lost, okay? And I thought to myself, like, you know, I don't know, maybe like if I got just a little bit, not to say, I'd look better with a straighter nose or a this, or maybe I'll add some volume here. It was more so like, I'm noticing like that shadow, I'm having to pile on concealer. I know I lost some volume there. I'll see what my options are. So I talked to Missy when I went, this again, probably, I mean, this was several years ago, and she told me that, you know, I don't want to, but like, people that have filler, or like whether it was her, like another nurse or whatever, like she has filler. I was like, what? Like, I didn't know that. You know what I mean? So natural. And I was like, okay, well maybe, yeah, let's do this. And so tiniest bit, like I remember when she did it, she just did, I forgot which eye it was, just a little bit of filler, and I couldn't feel, it's odd, like you don't, that area really has not a lot of feeling, so I didn't feel it, and she didn't numb it. So she put just tiny little micro droplets, or I don't even know, just tiny. And she was like, okay, this is tiny. She's like, I can do more and it would still be very conservative, but see what you think. And I looked at it and I was like, oh my gosh, I had on no makeup. The darkness was gone because the filler was covering my eye circles. Now that's eye filler is something that you don't want to mess with, because people can do it too much and then you have that effect of like sleepy eyes, or it's too much here, and then, or it's like they put it too high and then your eyes close when you smile. It's it's an area that you don't want to F with, But when she did that, I remember doing a video, and, I did a video for a couple weeks, and then finally, when I talked about it, I said, look back at this. And I showed the before of just a couple weeks when I was filming, and after with the same makeup on, and it was a dramatic difference. And it's not that it was bad before, and that's the thing, it's not like when you do makeup, you're saying, oh, I'm hideous. Why is it such a bad thing when you say, hey, I look a hell of a lot better with the lips, or with this, or with that? That's what I think, you know what I mean? That's not a bad thing, but it's not as willy-nilly as makeup, and it is something that you need to take seriously, okay? But the eye filler was a good experience for me, and it was not anything, with eye filler, I would not say that it's something that you need to get in your head about, and when you look bad one day, or when you have some circles, or when you look a little tired, don't get it in your head and think, oh, I need to get more, because eye filler should last years and years and years. Like I said maybe a couple years ago, like I feel like mine's gone, because I feel like it is, but it still looks good. You know what I mean? Like it still looks just like it did. So I don't know. That's just kind of an odd thing. Nothing in my cheeks, nothing anywhere else. It's just that, I mean, micro droplets were like, I mean, I know she charged me for it, but like, what? It was probably like a syringe, because they can't keep using them. It was probably like such a waste. But listen, but not for me. Like smaller, I think, is better when it comes to doing injectables. If you need a ton of Botox, girl, do it, okay? But I think with filler, you gotta really, really be careful. And no judgment with what anyone wants to do, but I think just with me, like looking at people's faces and stuff, and we're all a little more savvy, it's so blatantly obvious when someone does do the filler and then you get the round flat face, or you get, you know what I'm saying? And then it's like, okay, well then, yeah, give me some cheeks to balance that. And then it's just like, okay. And maybe it's just best to obviously not be tempted to go that route, but to maybe remove it. If you feel like, oh, I need to fix something to make it look better, maybe just pull back, because it's a slippery slope. And a friend of mine recently, we were talking about Botox and stuff, and I was like, just don't be tempted with filler, because I don't know where you're going. I don't know what they're gonna say. Oh, we can put a little bit here and lift this. Just be careful, okay? These trendy and current things, like the buccal fat removal, the eye things, I would say, and I don't want to sound like a judgy, you know what, because, like I ate my words with the lip filler, and that's good. I educated myself and I made a good decision and thought, oh, I was kind of wrong about that. Like, that was my feeling. People say, oh, you changed your mind about lips. Yeah, damn right I did, because I was looking at it before from a place of like, I didn't really know. And then guess what? I went and got educated about it, and now I know. And that's how we should, I think, be and evolve. But with these trendy things, I'm just going to be judgy and say, not a good idea. Like these people that are in their 20s, the it girls, whoever, that get these, I don't even want to say people's names, but the buccal fat, they get this pad removed because they feel like it makes a line or they look. What are you going to do in your late 30s, 40s when you're starting to lose volume? And then we know we continue to lose volume as we grow older. And then you don't have that anymore. You can't put it back. And filler's never going to be an exact replacement. You need your facial fat. And I would say don't ever remove that. I mean, I get it. People get like fat pads under their eyes or something that's like really, you know, different, or something that I need, you know, this is odd for me, this developed and I need to have it removed to make me feel better and more comfortable. Yeah, but changing those things of like, let me remove my cheeks, let me put these, and I know people do the threads. I have no frame of reference on that. It sounds like a nightmare to me. I think I would throw up like the second they even, I would throw up at the thought of knowing they were there. Like I could not even, I don't know, but again, don't want to be judgy. And some people may feel like that about things. I don't. But the cat eye thing where you're like getting this and, you know, maybe that's going to make you look a little aggressive. Maybe that's going to make you look a little harsh and aged in the upcoming decades. Like I think a softer look is a good thing. And I think some of these things that are just so trendy are honestly terrifying. But there's so many, again, I'm not bashing anything, but and not to say don't ever get filler in your face. Everyone's face is different. I'm talking from my perspective. I don't want to do that for me. If I were someone else, I might think, well, I might would like a, you know, I mean like a little bit here or there, you know, to help, you know, people can do like full on nose jobs now with injectables, like what's it called? Like a liquid nose job to like, if you have like a hump or whatever. And I don't know, risks with that. Okay. So do not do that willy-nilly. Terrifying. But you know, I really, even in the years past, was like, I'm not going to really do Botox anymore because do I really see a big difference? And again, like I went a year without it and probably more than that, I don't know. And then I got it again and I was like, I really do like it because I still can move the same. I look the same. I just look softer and more relaxed. Whereas I think the misconception is people think Botox just automatically makes you look harsh and like this, like, and it can. If you go to someone that ain't hitting it right, okay? Just as with anything. And I think that's it. Like, it's not a one-size-fits-all thing, which brings me to cool sculpting. Cool sculpting has even advanced so much since I got mine done. Was it 2 or 3 years ago? Cool sculpting is where you go. It's, you know, an outpatient procedure. It's no cutting or anything like that. Nothing scary. It's not the most pleasant experience. You go and, you know, you're somewhere where, you know, your med spa or your doctor's office, wherever you go, they're going to have like something for you to do, television, you can watch TV. It's going to take a couple hours. It's a device where it's pretty aggressive, like Majid. When I went, they treat certain areas of your body where you might have some stubborn fat, whether it's in your abdomen, you've had, you know, babies, it's your inner thighs, maybe you've lost weight, but like, you know, that area is still there. You've, you know, whatever. And it's not about losing weight. Again, I always say I feel so much better, like curvier. And people ask me all the time, oh my gosh, you lost weight. Like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I've actually, like, over the course of you guys seeing me over all these years, minus my pregnancy, because that's a whole other body in itself, you know, can't compare that. I've gained probably a good 20 pounds. Like I'm not, I don't know, you know, but people look at you and say, you look fat and bloated. And then people look at you and say, you're too skinny. And it's literally just the same day, different angle. You're treated certain areas. So say it's gonna be like your abdomen. The little device now, it's a totally different machine. And I believe like the applicators are different sizes and more sized for different areas. When I went, I think the applicator was about this big. So you do like a treatment here for 30 minutes and they'd have 2 wands. So they'd have one go in here, one go there. And then they'd switch it. And they turn it on and it sucks, okay? It's a big suction. They put a bunch of gel on you. And I think some pads, I don't know. They put it on the area. I know this sounds very like insane, but okay, just stay with me. Put it on the area and it sucks it in so that there's a good, it makes contact, which that was kind of, it's not pleasant. I'm just gonna be honest. I mean, and I was when I talked about it, it's not pleasant at all. And it starts to freeze and it starts to tingle. You know, like if you ever get frostbite or you're outside, you put your hand on something really cold and it hurts, but then it goes numb. That's basically what's happening. And the whole time I was like, oh my gosh, this is so creepy. It's so weird. But then it goes numb and you don't feel it. Well, then they come back in at the end of, I don't remember if it was 30 minutes, 45 minutes, however long the treatments were. They'd come in, they'd pull it off. And that's where the real, like, I don't say where the fun begins, but this is where the person that's doing it matters. They massage it. Okay, so it's frozen your fat, and they have to massage it to break it up because it's literally frozen hard. Imagine like a slushie. And if you don't get someone in there that's going to break it up, it hurts so bad you're going to feel like you're going to vomit. And you're like, why the hell would you do this? Just stay with me, okay? They have to break it up, or else you're gonna end up lumpy and bumpy. And I see people that say, I had cool sculpting and it didn't do anything. Well, the person probably didn't either place the applicators right where they overlapped correctly so that you wouldn't get a dip or a divot, but they probably didn't massage you correctly because maybe you're someone that like, they don't wanna hurt, or oopsie, like I don't, or you say, that hurts, and then they don't go in. I remember being like, oh my gosh, and they were like, just, you have to do this. You have to have someone that's gonna be like honest with you and kind of tough with you and do it the right way. And they have to set a timer and massage you. And I would think like, I'm gonna black out. I'm going to black out. And I know this doesn't sound particularly pleasant, and it's not, and I'm just being honest. But the results are my results I feel were worth it. You see people that really bash cool sculpting or say it's terrible. You might have like, this person says, oh, I was, quote, like, someone says like, I don't look, or I'm lumpy. It's because you didn't get a correct massage, or they didn't do it the right way, or it's something that if you do it that way, that won't happen, okay? But if someone's doing it to you and they go easy on you because they don't want to hurt you, or, you know, you might be like some celebrity or somebody that's like, oh, I don't want to hurt this person. Well, you're probably gonna be lumpy and bumpy and feel like you don't look so hot in several years. And it's a serious thing, and it's something that's crazy, and it's expensive. Did I have 2 rounds or 3 rounds? Gosh, then you have to go back. I did it on my inner thighs, and I did it on my stomach. And this was after, so I had Olivia. In 2015, I gained 80 pounds. I then slowly kind of just went back to my lifestyle, and I was always honest here, like, it takes time. It takes time, okay? And maybe I would say in like 2 years, I got back to like, not like I felt good, like, yay, I'm back to myself again, but just back to like okay, I've gone back to what's normal for me. Not completely 100%, but I liked the way my body looked better. I like the way that I'm a little curvier. And people look at me and say, well, you don't look like, well, it's because, again, frames matter. Like, weight is not a weight on somebody. It's like everybody's going to look so different. 140 pounds on me is going to look a heck of a lot different on somebody else. If someone's like, oh, I'm 120 pounds, I'm a size 4. If I were 120 pounds, I'd be emaciated, okay, because I'm taller, or my frame. Do you see what I'm saying? Okay, let's just continue. So, what else? With the cool sculpting, when you leave, it's so strange. Like, you feel numb for a good month, and then the feeling starts slowly coming back. And what cool sculpting does is it permanently kills the fat cells so they do not come back. I'm the type of person my entire life, if I were ever going to gain weight, or I'm whatever, it's going to my stomach. And now I've known like my weight's fluctuated at times, like 10 pounds or so, whatever, and I can see it maybe in my hips or my butt, which I don't mind that. My stomach, nothing, okay? I would do it again 100%. I mean, I don't need to, and I would never go back and do that because it's not coming back, and there's no other places I would really want to do it. I was curious about it with my stomach, and I thought that's cool, and while I was at it, I was like, where else can you stick it? Throw them on my inner thighs, and that was a great experience, and they're smooth, and but I've seen people that are like, okay, I got it done on my thighs, and there's a dip. Well, they put the thing there, and then you had fat around that. Someone's gonna know not to do that, or like if you do it on the inner thighs, to put it a certain way, and then when you massage it, it's like blending it out. Do you know what I'm saying? You can't just do it and then do a little wimpy massage and then be like, okay, there you go. Well, yeah, in a couple months, in a year, how it takes, you know, however long it takes for the fat to fully like metabolize, you're gonna have a dip. You're gonna be lumpy. And it's all about who does it. You've got to go to someone you trust, someone that does it a lot, that has good results, that didn't just start, you know, I hate to say that, but someone that has patients that have seen good results for a long time. I did mine at Aesthetic Specialty Center. I believe Erica did my CoolSculpting too, and other people did it too. Like I remember there was a few other people coming in. Everyone there is wonderful. Erica is really great with that kind of stuff. So yeah, it metabolizes your fat, and you're not instantly, like, you will leave, and I'm not kidding. I remember when I came home that day, it felt like jelly when I would walk, because it's swollen. And that's what sucks about it is you go in, and obviously if you're gonna pay enough to, like, okay, I go to the trouble, pay the money to have whatever area you want treated, whether it's your arms, your stomach, your inner thighs, you're wanting to remove superficial and like stubborn areas of fat. Well, so then when you leave and it's swollen and bigger, it's discouraging. You're like, oh my God, what have I done? I lived in leggings, which, what's different about that? I mean, I guess that's what I live in every day anyways, but that held it secure because it really did not feel good, and it was, felt numb, so it was extra odd. But the swelling went down after about, I would say, like a week. Not like crazy dangerous swelling, but you know what I mean. And then over about a month, my feeling came back, okay, which that was trippy. And then the results started happening, and I really started noticing, I would say maybe around like 3 months, 4 months. This is a long-term thing. Like, you're not gonna get instant gratification at all from CoolSculpting, at all. I would say do not do it. Oh, I'm gonna do it for the summertime. Don't do that, okay? Do it, I would say, like in the winter or in the fall, or I don't know. Don't do it like before an event or thinking like, oh, I'm gonna slim down or, you know, take care of this or whatever by, you know, next month or 2 months or 3 months. No. So yeah, it started kind of, you know, I started noticing like, wow, I remember one day I looked and I thought, oh my gosh, this is crazy. And then from then on, it just got better and better. And I even look sometimes years later and think like I know it's all metabolized out, and you know, it takes time for your body to like, again, like metabolize the dead fat and like work it out. But sometimes I'm like, you know, I feel it, and it feels hard. You know what I mean? Like you can't feel that layer, but then you can but you know what I'm saying? It's not like I'm skinny and have no fat on my body. I like that. I think that's good to have curves. Better even for me, but like, I'm really happy with it, and I don't want to say, oh, I got lucky. No. Just don't go to someone that doesn't know what they're doing. Laser hair removal is something that I've started doing recently. I did it on my armpits. I think I've done 2 or 3, I think 3 sessions, and it's so funny. Like, I'll go a while with that, and I have dark natural hair. Okay, I've had to shave my armpits every single day. Not just like, oh, there's a little shadow there. It's like full on. Like, I have so much armpit hair. Okay, you guys. Just don't even get me started. But I'm like, I want to see, you know, is this really working? And like, if I go like a week without shaving my armpits, I might have like just a little patch of maybe 4. It's insane. So laser hair removal is nice, but it is not pleasant. I don't think I could sit there and do it longer than I did for my armpits. It takes like 5 minutes. Yeah, so that works. What else, you guys? People talking about like lifts, face. I don't know. I'm not there. I've seen people that get really good results with like those mini facelifts when you get older. I'm not saying don't start doing it too young. And I know that's very extreme. It's not like an old like 80s facelift that's scary. People do it, and so many people you'd see now that just look natural, you'd never know. And people think they're smarter. I can get you to it. No, you can't. So that's a good thing, and I think maybe just wait and do that rather than jabbing up your face with like tons of filler and like trying to create a jawline. Or, oh, I can put filler here and lift this. Just be careful. I do like the microcurrent devices, and places charge an arm and a leg for a microcurrent treatment, which is like, you know, tightening this area. It's temporary. So I would say never pay for a microcurrent device at a professional place. And I mean, that's just my opinion. Because you have to do it often, unless if you just got bags of money that you can go once a week or once every 2 weeks. and get like a big like microcurrent. I just don't want to be chained to that. I would say just invest in one of those new face devices and invest in the nicest one that they make, and do it yourself, maybe like twice a week, 3 times a week. I can't, again, my neck is just, it's a weird thing. I've always been like this since I was a kid. Like, I just don't like people touching my neck. I get very like, same with my forehead. I can hardly take getting Botox. Like, it really freaks me the heck out. And thankfully I don't get much of it, or they don't stick me too many times, because it really kind of grosses me out. I'll sit there and let you do, I give my boobs, whatever. I can't, like, just touching my, like, where your brain is just like, ugh. So with the new face, I literally bought this really expensive device. I'll link to the exact one that I have, and it is great and it works. And it's about consistency. That's why I say don't go somewhere, because you could go spend hundreds of dollars on a microcurrent treatment and be like, wow, I look really snatched today. 2 days, it's gonna be gone, okay? You've gotta do it often. I literally have that just to use here, and I'll use it here. And in the past, like, sometimes I've seen, like, you know, you do kind of, as you age, which is normal, it's fine. You know, you start to sag here a little. The new face really helps kind of tighten and lift. And if you do it often, it's an effect that will last. So it's not going to be something that fixes anything, or, oh, this is, you know, I'm never going to have to use it again. No, it's something that you have to use often, or it's, you know. And again, I know that someone is going to say like, oh, you looked so much better before, whatever. Well, I've literally had people say that, I could tell you just got your Botox done because you look so much better then. And I'm thinking, well, actually I have none now, and you're referring to when I had it. So I just always find what people's mentality and their judgment kind of makes them project is always interesting. And I know this is a topic that stirs up a lot of those emotions. Again, I've been there. I'm like, I would never get my lips done. No, thank you. This, that, and the other. And then, you know, then I decide to do it because I'm more informed about it, or I was definitely misinformed then, because I wasn't informed at all. I was just looking at people that had like bad lip filler, you know, and just thinking, well, that's how everyone is. And that is what everyone's doing that says, oh, Botox looks like this, or filler looks like this. And really it doesn't, you know. Or someone says, oh, I could tell your face looks puffy, you just got Botox. I'm like, that's not what that does. I probably just had a long night, or didn't sleep, or I don't know, maybe I've gained 20 pounds, okay? But listen, everyone's gonna always have something to say. I don't flip and care. That's why I'm here. I've come on here every which way but Sunday. I don't even know, over the years. No makeup, makeup, face full of acne, hair up to here, hair down to here, all different colors, questionable fashion choices, questionable beauty choices, questionable eyebrows, you name it, okay? But one thing I will always be is just dead ass honest. And I just love sharing this, not from a place of like, you know, performative authenticity. Oh yeah, I'm doing this, that, and naming that. No, you guys already know. But I want to share these things, hopefully to like break some stigmas, to hopefully, I don't want to say educate, but to maybe share with you some things that you didn't know, and to hopefully help you guys, if you are curious about this, get a good result. And the things that I've shared, you know, in the past, however long this video is, things that you shouldn't waste your time on. So I really hope that you guys enjoyed this. I will always love sharing anything and everything beauty with you guys, and just anything good. I really do think sometimes like, oh gosh, I don't know, over the years I have thought like, I always feel good. I feel good about what I've done here, or else I wouldn't have been steady and doing this for 15 years from like an authentic place. But sometimes I think, am I doing something profound? Like, is this meaningful? Am I doing something? And I think it's not just about like, you know, curing cancer, or doing something that's like, you know, oh, I'm teaching, or I'm helping a child, or I'm doing this or that. I'm happy that I'm able to share realness in a space that's very fake, and under the guise of a lot of performative realness that people do, and that burns me up. And I just have always stuck clear and true to who I am. And if I can come on here and provide some entertainment, some laughs, a smile, and talk to you as I would a girlfriend, and share some fun things, and have like this community, and just do something true and honest. How many people can say, even if they are doing something, quote, profound, or they're going and making tons and tons of money, like, I'm doing something real. I'm being myself. I'm doing something true and honest. And when I unlocked that in my brain years ago, it's just untouchable. Like the joy and the happiness. I have been judged. I have had people that have looked at me differently because of, oh, you're making money doing this, or they see your lifestyle change, that maybe we're a family member or a friend, or not a friend and not a family member that you'd even want. People have this stigma about you, or or you got this procedure, you must be this or that. And I'm thinking, girl, I don't want you around anyways if you think that. You know what I mean? And so many people miss out on joy and miss out on good relationships because they are so judgy, whether it's because of what I do here, because of a beauty procedure or something that they just don't understand. And you know, at least I feel going out here talking about cosmetic procedures, fake boobs, Botox injections, and you know what? I feel damn good about it. Okay, you guys, we're gonna always keep it real here, and I'll always be providing a long-winded rant at the end of every video. Okay, you guys, love you so much. Have a great week, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.